You got it.
Got it.
Got it. Woo!
Okay, today, I bring a little telescope, and it's a pretty good telescope. This is good for long range. And if you want to take a look at it and take some pictures and video, you could actually use this for that. And I'm going to show you exactly what you get when you purchase some of this. So let's go ahead and take a look at it. All right. First of all, they give you a little item, and it's like a hand, pretty much like a foot long. It's half a foot almost. So it is about 12 inches, almost there, if you guys can see it. It fits in the palm of my hand. It's very small. It has telescopic view so it's 12 to 50x HD, good quality. This system is pretty simple to use. You can just take out the cap here. So you can actually, there's a little cap in here that I just removed right now. So you could add your own tripod in here. So if you have a nice sturdy tripod, you could set this up. I recommend you getting a nice sturdy tripod if you're going to use this, especially if you're going to add it with your phone. And we're going to talk a little bit more. So this attachment was also in there too. I set it up right now. As you can see, you could go one hand. So if you're going to a basketball, football game or something, and you're sitting up on the nosebleeds, but you want to be able to see the action, this will get you right in there. And I like that they give you a lens cap right here in the front too, and they give you one for the back too, if you guys can notice this. So the back one is just a little larger. You could attach it too. There's a little string area that you could attach it, so you won't lose it too. So this is pretty simple, and then you magnify just with one hand, left and right, and then you lens out here, so your eyes won't touch the actual lens, because you need to be like a little bit away from it. If you ever shoot a scope if you ever shoot a gun on a scope, you never put your face on the actual scope, all right, because there's a kickback in there. And also, you're not going to get the full picture on these scopes, so you got to make sure you're off of it and see if you could view some of it. So this is pretty simple, easy to set up, and I'm gonna show you a little bit of the that I took it to the gun range and how I was using it, and why I recommend use something like this if you're gonna go to a gun range. Now this item is very small, and it's not like the larger ones, but it gets you to the actual action where you want to see. So pretty simple to use, and I'm going to do a demo out here so you guys can see some of the birds out here that I have, and then we're going to take it to the gun range too, so you can see some of the features that I can do. Now, recommendation, this thing here right here is very simple to set up. So all you got to do is lock it in there. Once you lock it in there, you lock it here. This is where you actually lock it. If you guys can see this, this is where you actually lock it, and this won't come out. As simple it is. Now, when you're setting up your phone, now the hard part of the phone, there's a little loose mechanism in here. You could go up and down on here. All right, so you can move the phone anywhere you want. There is another tripod for this, but this is a separate issue. We're not going to put it on here. We're going to put it in here because this is where the weight's going to be on. And you lock it in. When you place your phone, the phone goes on the top here, and you have to pretty much adjust your phone to where the actual lens is. Now, the only problem I had is if you have a brand new phone that has 4 or 5 cameras, you can have a lot of issues because every time you zoom in, it changes to a different camera. So my recommendation is getting maybe an older camera phone, or if you have a phone that only has 2 cameras, you can mess with that. That's easier, because I have a phone that has 5 cameras. Every time you zoom in a little bit, 10x, it changes to the next camera. Next 10x, it changes to the next one until it goes to 20x, which is the last camera, which is very difficult. On top of that, when you have to zoom in, when you set it up and you finally fix it, you're going to see a little ring. You have to actually zoom in just a fraction of it so it could cover the whole screen itself. So that's another thing you got to make sure so that you cover that thing. Adjusting it is a little tricky sometimes. You got to make sure it's adjustable by going up and down until you actually find the actual phone lens. All right, once you find the phone lens, you'll see it, and it's down here from there. Now, the lens cap is very simple to remove, and you can see it just easy to remove, easy to and you got plenty of space in there, so anything that flies close by, or any kind of dust or anything, that it's gonna be a little difficult to get in there. And on top of that, they give you a dust cleaner here, so you could use this, so you could clean this kind of lens. All right, don't touch it with your fingers. Very sensitive, so you don't want to leave in any fingerprints. This is a plus. Taking it outdoors and using it is a plus. Now, like I said, you don't really have to use this phone thing. This is a plus that they even added this in there. Then remove it. I like to go solo like this and just go and videotape, record, or something like that. If I want to, I'll add it in here. But if I'm going to go see a football game, basketball, baseball game, or anywhere indoors, outdoors, perfect item to do, especially for those that love going to the gun range. You want to see what you hit. You want to see what you missed. You want to record your shots. You can do that here. And I am going to put some of the video footage so you guys can see what I do with it. So hopefully you guys like it. And on top of that, look at this. Look at that. They give you everything you need. They give you a little tripod. This is a 3-legged tripod. These are a little flimsy. This is pretty much if you're going to set it up on your desk. But if you're going to set up your phone, I wouldn't recommend this at all, because this might fall and break over your phone, because it tilts a little bit more forward because of the weight. So make sure you have a good tripod for this stuff, especially if you're going to add your phone into it, right? You don't want to just add your phone to something that's going to keep flipping up. All right, here we have it set up with the actual phone. This is a Galaxy 21 Ultra, and I had a little problem looking for the actual scope. You have to mess with it, you have to tweak it, you got to move these things to adjust it. Suggestion, maybe go with a less intense phone, maybe something with less cameras, maybe 2 cameras. This one has 5 cameras, so it's a little more difficult, more tricky. But the system itself, you're gonna see some of the footage. I took it to the gun range. You're gonna see some of the footage. I took it outside, took some video, but it works very well with a stand, a tripod. So we are recording here. Look at this guayaba, far away. I'm gonna show you how far we are. Oops, we're actually extremely far. This bird far away. I want to take it to a gun range next. See how good we get a video on it. Just to see how far we are.